back to Mastering McPets, Real Talk, No Fluff. This week we're tackling one of the most debated topics in the dog world, raw feeding. Whether you're a dedicated feeder, feed kibble, use a mix of both, or are simply curious about what's actually in your dog's bowl, this episode is for you. We are joined by Eric from Raw Pet Foods, a company that has been helping owners make informed decisions about their dog's nutrition for many years. Ahead of this episode, we asked you to send in your questions, and you've certainly delivered, so thank you very much for that. We have questions covering raw feeding to behaviour to health, vets, myths, misconceptions, and some of the biggest controversies in the pet food industry. And we're putting all of your questions to Eric. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get stuck into another honest conversation. Let's get into it. So today's episode we are joined by Eric from Raw Pet Foods.
Hello.
Eric, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how the business started?
Yeah.
Your background?
Sure. I've been a butcher since I was 15 years old. Had my own shops, run big factories, worked for a farming cooperative, travelled around Europe and other countries, buying and auditing factories, and then worked for a food machinery company for 11 years, a friend of mine, and back in 2008 I got a new German Shepherd, Holly, and for 2 years whatever we fed her just went straight through her, and by 2010 raw had started to appear, and our company, Windsor Food Machinery, was selling machines to them, and Tim, my boss and the owner of the company, he said, why don't you try the raw? And really, I'd never really thought about it, and the phrase fit as a butcher's dog is quite true. So I bought a case online and gingerly fed it. My wife was a bit nervous about it. I looked online, and within 1 week my dog Holly was just a different dog. Her back end was just incredible, absolutely transformation. Kept feeding it, and within a month her coat was so soft, it was just a wow factor. So kept feeding it, kept buying it, and in the end, after months and months, I thought I could make this. It wasn't about money, it was the fascination, how it had changed my dog. And so I looked online, recipes were fairly similar, where I've done manufacturing, so I know a lot about making products. So I formulated my own recipe, kept feeding it to Holly for another year or two, and by 2014 we were having people come to the showroom to buy machines, and Tim would say, go and see what Eric's doing in his little dairy, and they would say, wow, this is great, can you make it for me? So that's how we started Raw Pet Foods, purely by accident, and started making it for companies like Benefit Natural, Bella and Duke that are on the TV, Luna and me, and a few others.
That's what I say to all my clients. This is the guy that provides Bella and Duke
Yeah.
and things like that. So it's interesting because when I started feeding raw, when we had my first Mastiff, so we're going back nearly 30 years, everything was all, Royal Canin giant breed. And when you don't know any better, only vets, 1% of vets in the whole of the UK are qualified in nutrition. And they all sort of like scaremonger people as well, I find, unless you've got good vets. But my first Mastiff was constantly lame. Didn't want to eat the food. Well, I can't say I blame him looking at it. And when I went off and did my BIPDT more years ago than I care to remember, there was a really good seminar on nutrition. And this lady that had fed raw, back in the day before you guys did everything for us, put in the pulped veg, the magnate, the zinc and everything else, I had to, and cider vinegar, I had to do it all from scratch, the raw egg, you name it. But like your German Shepherd, my vet didn't think my Mastiff would get to 7, because at 3 he was just no muscle tone, totally lame, infections. As soon as I put him on the raw diet, he was transformed. Yeah. He lived until he was just over 11, and then he was banging out mentoring with me 3 miles a day without even breaking sweat, which then up to 6 miles and so on. And he was as strong as an ox, and it just completely changed him. And from the behaviour side, just so calm, because there's no chemical.
Yeah, no additives.
Yeah.
Ours is totally natural and nothing added. And everything we put in our recipe is in the product you buy. It's not like, I've been to big factories, and I'm not going to name any, but they have a bucket with a spoon and they flick it into a machine that's taller than you, and they put that on the pack. And they put that on the pack saying that's in the product. Well, it's not.
No.
And there's a lot of fad things out there that they put in, spirulina and coconut oil and stuff like that, which is just for housewives that love all this stuff, and they think, oh, it's got that in it, I'll buy it. But in
I've
fact,
got
it's
spirulina.
not.
I do put it in the
Yeah,
food.
but it's in your food. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, in these big companies, they flick a bit in, saying it's in there, but it's really not into every pack.
But not with the
It's-
amount that's required.
No, it's a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's the same when they say it's got no fillers, but it has.
Yeah.
Because it'll be, just because it's not got grain in it or anything like that, or rice, so you'll have the, the pea starch and all the other, and the mayo, everything. They're really clever, aren't they, about how they put down their nutritions, and they put X amount of meat derivative, which is basically ears, eyeballs and arseholes off the floor, isn't it?
Yeah, ours is all meat, all human food grade. Everything we put in it, you can take home and eat yourself. So it's 80% meat, pretty much, 10% veg, and 10% offal. Ox heart, ox liver, ox kidney, with flaxseed oil and sea kelp, all blended.
And bone.
We've got 10% bone within that meat, ground bone. And it's done quite chunkily, so it's mixed very gently as well to not over-process it.
Fab.
Yeah, I'd have had a similar experience to what you were saying with your Mastiff, with my 2 black Labradors. You were saying about, well, actually your German Shepherd with the coat and things. My 2 Labradors, awful tummies. They farted, you died. We put them on
Gina's
raw
Frenchie.
food, and they were farting roses. Their stool was hard. There's no smell to it. Their coats changed. Even their behaviour. They were a lot calmer. I'd never ever heard or thought much of the raw diet, but now that I've seen the effects that it can have, I would never change back to.
Did you feed raw
kibble.
before you met me?
No.
Ah, see.
No,
Thank you.
my auntie's always, she has basset hounds, and she'd always raw fed them. And I'm not going to lie, I was like, oh, that's a fad. Why are you doing that? There's all these foods on these shelves. That's what it's there for. And she was right all the time. It's the best diet you could give your dogs.
Well, how many wolves do you see eat squirrel shit?
Yeah.
None. And how many wolves do you see cook the dinner before they eat it? None.
But I think a lot of people thought raw was going to be a fad and die out, and there's going to be a big problem with a big whatever, I don't know, disease or whatever. But it's pure natural meat and products. There's no extra things to have a problem with a food scare or whatever.
I say to my clients,
totally pure.
Dogs are predominantly carnivorous. Yes, they do need certain veg and stuff, which is why sometimes they eat shit for the fibre and everything else, horse shit and stuff. But it's big companies that have changed dogs' diets. If they were meant to eat squirrel shit, they'd have teeth like my horse. And they haven't,
Yeah.
And why would you feed a dog? And the one that really gets me, boils my piss, is, I'll put it on a vegetarian diet. Oh my God. What on earth? But when you got Pig was given up at 13 weeks old and was going to be put to sleep, and I said, no way, I'll foster him. And the reason that they were going to put it to sleep was 2 reasons. They were saying he was mouthing, well, that's just puppiness, and probably because he was fed shit food, and because he was farting all the time and they couldn't stand the farting, so they're going to put him to sleep at 13 weeks
Shocking.
old. So he appeared at my house, this ugly little Cornish
I knew you'd have
pasty
to say
thing.
something horrible about him.
He is ugly, but we love him. And then we got him on the raw, didn't we, love? And then he can still clear a room now and again if Marcus has fed him something dodge that he shouldn't have done, like a boar sausage.
Wild boar sausage.
But other than that,
he's
sweet,
pretty good.
isn't
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah. And he doesn't, and his poos are easy to pick up, which is nice.
That's the best thing. And I always say that to clients. I'm quite gross. I will go, look at the size of Neville, look at the size of the Mastiffs, okay, this is Neville's shit. And they'll go, shut up. How can that be so small for such a massive dog? And I'm like, because it's raw fed and there's no waste. Compared to your Spaniel that does double the amount, it stinks and is just vile. Yeah. I mean, it costs, what I had, Royal Canin, £1.50 to make a bag.
Wow. Yeah, they can't process carbohydrates pretty much, and it just comes out the other end.
That's it. Apart from sweet potato.
Same as us, though. We're the same. So we all need to eat meat.
Yeah.
Protein.
Definitely.
I mean, you guys might not be able to answer this question, but why do vets, or some vets, have such a big issue with dogs being on a raw diet? I had a Ridgeback, puppy Ridgeback come a few weeks ago, 6 months old, from the breeder, was raw fed. They continued the raw diet, went to see the vet, and the vet took strips off them and put it on Baker's Complete.
That's because they're paid by them. A lot.
Baker's?
Yeah, it was Baker's. I rang the customer. That's the one I asked you about.
Oh my God.
I rang her up and I said, look, I probably shouldn't name the brand, but I'm not going to feed your dog that. I'll feed it anything, pretty much anything else, or offered like wets and spoke to her about it. But I just don't understand the vet's position.
The vets haven't got huge knowledge. They don't, in their training, they've had 4 months worth of nutrition training out of 7 years. So, and plus the big vet chains, they're paid by all
Royal
these big
Canin,
companies
Science Plan, they're all paid to sell
push
it.
their product. So they are anti-raw. Well, my business, Raw Pet Foods, we supply about 5-6 vets now who are very, very positive about it. One chain, Wiley's Vets in Essex, fabulous. They've got 2 stores, but they will take a new dog, they will do all the weighing and everything else, and they make a plan, a raw plan. So if they accept that plan on a monthly basis as a subscription, there's no vet bills.
Brilliant.
Because they know they're not really going to have any real issues with that dog.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
Because it benefits teeth. You name it. I think you could name a benefit for it, couldn't you?
Well, the other one that I got the other day was that client rung up and said her dog had salmonella. And this is the thing that vets, you can't raw feed if you've got young children, there's salmonella. Well, dogs carry salmonella, and people don't realise that. They're carriers, they shed it all the time. And it's only if they can pick it up through licking faeces or something like that, or something that's gone really off, and pick up salmonella that way. But dogs actually carry it, so and you guys are so stringently ruled by DEFRA.
Yeah, we are. We test every month
for the salmonella and everything,
and enterobacteria as well.
Yeah.
And so we have to test. So it's madness. I think it's 5,000 enterobacteria are testing, and you could go into Sainsbury's, buy a pot of salad, take the lid off and eat it. That's allowed 11,000 or 12,000 enterobacteria, and they can eat that straight away. But we're only allowed 5,000 it's just madness. It doesn't. And all DEFRA say, well, that's FSA rules. That's not us. So, it is wrong in the day. Because as I said to the vet or the DEFRA people, well, my dog would go in a bush, drag a rabbit out and start munching on it. How many enterobacteria has that got on it? Thousands. I said it in a bit of a stronger way that she sort of reacted.
Oh, don't hold back here.
Yeah, but that is the truth of it, though.
Yeah. And mine are the same. They'll eat a kill.
And there's nothing wrong. Like if you've got a young child that's kept so clean, it's going to pick up illnesses.
Constantly.
You need them germs, exactly. in there.
That's it. My kids don't very rarely get ill because I've always been outdoors, out with the horses, always around the dogs, you name it.
It's the same with injecting your dog every year.
Don't do it.
Vaccination.
I don't
It's
do it.
wrong. It's
Yeah.
not. It's destroying their immune system.
Yeah, teacher test. That's
Yeah.
what we do. Yeah.
We have had some questions come in from our many viewers. So one of them has asked or said, "I'd love to raw feed my dogs, but I simply can't afford it. What would you say to owners like me?"
Cool, that's got you.
The question is true, but it is expensive, but it's not, because you balance it out with all the benefits you're getting from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, less vet bills, but
Yeah. Less pre-bags.
there are. We're in the middle price wise of all the raw feeders, and it's not that expensive. I think it's about $1.95 a day for a medium-sized dog. That is the cost.
I mean, Cotswold
feeding.
Royal's extortionate.
Yeah, there's a lot out there that are very expensive. So
And I'd like to add to that, Eric. It's just like you're saying, you're mid-range, and people could go to put there's like Bulmers and all that sort of feeds, and it's just slop.
it's 20% bone as well.
It's just but you defrost it, and it's just so watery
Yeah.
and shitty.
Yeah,
And so you know that, like with yours, it's proper like chunky.
proper meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, but I understand where the young lady's coming from. But you get what you pay for, and
It is what it is.
it is, I'm afraid.
But the only way around it, I guess, is if you can get. There's the stuff that you can buy in supermarkets that are cheap. All right, it's not the same quality. The minces, the frozen chicken drumsticks or whatever at their sort of stuff. But again, I guess that's full of water and everything else, and then pulp your own veg. But that's a faff, and by the time you finish farting about, you may as well have just bought a stick.
Yeah.
The only other thing, I do reduce the recommended amount of raw for mine, and I top it up with Laughing Dog.
Or bait mixer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I use that sometimes.
Yeah.
just to cheapen it down, because sometimes, well, it depends how many dogs I'm feeding, but every day I feed 5 medium dogs. So it is expensive, and then I've got 2 big dogs that I'm feeding on it as well, so we pad it out a bit with baked biscuits.
So what's your take on that? Because I looked into when my clients said with their financial restrictions, but they want to feed raw, and I'll say, well, if you need to make it more sort of counterproductive and you want to feed the raw not as much, I always say you can use Laughing Dog baked mixer. So I've looked what's in that's grain free and it's baked, so a bit like your cold press stuff. So I'm saying to people now that can't afford to do like the full raw, or they can't face it for whatever reasons, I'm sending them to you for cold pressed.
Yeah, cold press is the nearest thing to raw feeding. It's baked at like 60 degrees to 200. It actually dissolves within and doesn't bloat your dog out, and it's got all the benefits of raw feeding apart from it's in a dry form.
Yeah.
And actually, when you have a bag and you get the powder at the bottom of it, you don't chuck that away. You can mix that with some water and then just add it on top as
Like gravy.
extra, like gravy. No waste. But we started cold press because obviously I'm raw all the way through
Me
with my
too.
blood. But customers were going camping, they were doing this, doing that, holidays. They asked me, where can we buy this stuff? Well, we're only very small, you can't really. We're very limited to our stockists. So I looked at getting cold press. I took a year or more looking at lots of different places, and the one we get is from Scotland, and it's fabulous, and it's selling very well as well. And some people have said, "Oh, I'd rather just feed the cold press. Do you mind?" I said, "It's totally up to you what you want to feed.
It is,
It's
but
better than the kibble.
I would say,
than
you
the
know,
other stuff."
well, do you want to eat muesli morning, noon and night?
Yeah.
I'm quite blunt with my clients, aren't I? And I would just say, how would you like that?
Yeah.
Morning, noon and night. Yes, it's got its place for sure. So when I go away for work, so we're going to Shropshire, aren't we, at the end of the month to work with a client for 4 days. But I get an Airbnb, so I know I can take raw. And I could take me
Yeah.
raw in a cold pack and then it's there and it
Yeah.
can defrost. But if I get to the point where sometimes if I'm in a hotel with a dog like Crufts, then I'd take a steamed meat, but now I'll take the cold
Yeah.
press.
But our product thawed out will last 4 days refrigerated, no problem at all.
Mm.
And it probably in a cool box, not that I would suggest you do that, but in a fridge, 4 days life easily.
Yeah, that's what I did when I went to Bath and West.
Yeah.
Oh, but they had a little tiny, little fridge but with a little box freezer on top. I
Yeah.
whacked about 3 sticks in there and the rest in the fridge.
Yeah.
It's pissed.
Is some raw better than no raw at all? So people are asking. I've got a couple of questions here. Where people are asking about mixing it with kibble. Do they still get the benefits, or does the shit in the kibble overtake the goodness in the raw?
I say it overtakes. Let's see what Eric says.
I cook. Honestly, I don't know, but obviously some raw's better than nothing. But I would imagine the kibble will just all come out.
It does, but from you're going from the nutrition point, and I'll go from the behaviourist point. So you're feeding 2 complete foods, so that's doubling up the protein in dogs that can't always take it, and because you're feeding the kibble, which is not a natural protein because it's obviously processed to the hilt with all the chemicals in it, it's like putting your dog on smack, and then they wonder why it's bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't feed kibble, feed a baked mixer if you want to do it that way. That's the difference. It's just like a pure baked kelp biscuit.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of questions here also. Well, going back to the cost of raw, but how much could or should the average dog owner expect to spend each month? So what's an average dog? 25, 30 kilos?
Yeah. I think our average spend is about £67 a month. That's our average customer spend.
Well, it's 80 quid for a bag of Royal Canin. It's 70 quid for Arden Grange. So, do you know what I mean?
It seems
Still cheaper.
it's quite reasonable. I was surprised. So
You've also got a very handy guide on your website, haven't you, about what to feed or how much to feed a dog depending on their weight. Is it 2 to 3%?
it is 2 to 3%. It depends how busy your dog is. Obviously, some dogs get a lot of exercise, others don't get any. So, and basically, you visually look at your dog. That's the way to guide it. If it's starting to put on weight, then cut the food back. And but exercise is just as important as the food.
Yep.
So important.
What you put in is what you get out.
It's-
But I've got Rotty in at the minute. I was downstairs today while I record here, and he has his raw food from you. He's in New Romney.
Yeah.
And when he told me how much he was feeding him, I went, "You're taking the piss. It's not enough." Oh, I thought it was that. This dog is half of his frantic behaviour is because he's starving.
Wow.
So I've doubled it.
Yeah.
Absolutely double. He's nearly on as much as Norman, my growing mastiff, my
Yeah.
puppy. He's on 2 kilos a day and a bit. And I've just had to up this Rotty because he's constantly ravenous. As soon as you do anything with your hands, is there, what have you got?
Yeah.
Carry it, but what have you got? He's just starving all the time.
Yeah. That's not good.
No, well, I've got to make, and he doesn't look skinny.
No.
And he wasn't skinny when he came to me. But he's clearly great. He just needs more because he's got fast metabolism because he's got a lot of anxiety, so he's burning it. So I've doubled it, and that's calmed him right down.
Yeah.
It's not only the amount that we feed, it's the choice of protein too, isn't it? It's like turkey's going to be lean. If you're going to want to fatten a dog up, you'd go for duck or beef or something, wouldn't you? With a nice bit of green tripe.
Chicken is the easiest for a dog to digest. It's a good starter. There's a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, my dog can't have chicken, the vet told me," but a lot of that is nonsense at the end of the day. Of course, there's dogs with allergies on poultry, or lamb or beef, whatever. But it's compared to this 15.5 million dogs in the UK, it's very small percentage, very small, and they've. We only buy UK stuff, maybe some from Ireland. We don't buy anything abroad. All our chicken's hand cut. There's no machine stuff. which is stripped completely and it's just literally bone. All our carcasses have loads of meat and loads of fat on it, and we mince it up. So I mean, a lot of chefs use it for stock. It's that good. It comes from Paul in Dorset, one of the suppliers. Super stuff.
That's good, but I do find a lot though with chicken, the ones I see, there are some that are quite allergic to it, and I know initially when Gloria was young, very young, it really flared up her acne. She's back on chicken now, but she had to go through her phase where I said to you, Eric, I can't have chicken. She's fine now. But we do see it because it's got, apparently it's got a lot of allergens in it that the other meats don't. They say venison's probably one of the best for not having any reactions. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, we don't do venison or any game because of salmonella. Basically, it's quite prominent in game, so we just don't want the problem, and also don't really get asked for it as well.
Do you not?
No, not at all. I
That's
mean,
interesting.
very rarely we get asked for game, and I've said sorry, but we don't want the problems that it comes with.
And so yeah, that's what I find that interesting. I didn't realise that you'd have salmonella more in game.
So, yeah, that's what I'm told.
I've
I mean,
learned
all
today.
DEFRA have always saying that. You don't do game, do you? I said, no, we don't. So, but
Good to
rabbit
know.
is the best source of protein a dog or a cat can have. But the trouble is, it costs so much. I mean, you're talking over £6 a kilo to buy rabbit. So we buy rabbit from Belgium. That's because there's no English rabbit farms. You can't get it in England. So Belgium, Italy or France, and it's major expensive. So we do a blend rather than do a complete,
Rabbit on its own.
Yeah.
Well, rabbit on its own is quite rich, isn't it?
Yeah, but you'd still have the veg and
Yeah.
the offals in with it, so it mixes it up. But especially cat food, I mean, the cats love it. Yeah, rabbit.
What's your feeling on tripe? I get a lot of people that say, we just feed tripe. Well, I say that's not balanced.
Tripe
And
is,
it just makes them fart
It
a
stinks.
lot.
so ox tripe and lamb tripe, we buy both. And
Green tripe.
We make both. They're green, but they're washed. So yeah, they're not. Lamb tripe, it really smells. It's got a lot more oils in it.
I know, mine love it.
Than the ox tripe, but they are both superfoods, amazing for dogs. But to feed it neat, it's too rich, really. Sustainably feeding them, we used to supply a guy that's all he used to buy. When you went to his garden and you see the back end, it's just slop that comes out because it's too rich for a dog. We do a chicken and tripe, we do a beef and tripe, and we put a good amount in it, and it is really good sauce. Every now and then, feed your dog some neat tripe, no problem.
I don't
If
do
you
neat.
continuously feed it, it's not good for the dog because it's just
too rich.
running out of them.
But it's not balanced either, is it?
No, but there's so much in there, proteins, vitamins, everything, enzymes, everything. You know, it is a superfood, but you can have too much of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So other questions that have come in relating to puppies. Is there too young an age to start? Should they start from the word dot? What's the biggest mistake new raw feeders make with their puppies? Talk about puppies.
Alright, well I wean mine at 4 weeks on raw straight away. I don't mess about. I pick a lot of the big bones out initially, or I'll say to you, can I have some boneless? But I start 4 weeks. Anyway, over to you.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Mostly when someone's buying a puppy, it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks old anyway. So that we recommend that we only do chicken on the puppy food because obviously it's the easiest for a dog to digest. It's a good starter, good, fantastic source of protein. But we do it very finely, so it breaks up that bone. And yes, Helen, I mean, some people, we do advise if you're not confident, take that bit of bone out. But we do 85% meat for more protein for their growth because they grow very quickly. We use Vermex as well to help their system initially, digestion.
For my
and everything
Irish
else.
Terriers, this litter, we had 7 in February, but they loved the lamb and the tripe, but some of the bone was too big initially to start with, so I was there picking all
Yeah.
the stuff out and then mushing it up, but then they were like velociraptors, so I was like,
Yeah.
it's just gone.
I mean, like I say, we only do chicken, and it's done on a 6mm plate, very fine, so which is perfectly okay for you know, the puppies, and they thrive on it. And we're happy to give away samples. Try it first, and see how you get on. That's with anyone, whether it's
There you go,
an
all your
adult
puppy
or-
owners. Actually get some trial off of Eric and give it to him at the puppy classes.
I always give the leaflet, and in my puppy packs your leaflet goes
Yeah.
in it, straight off, when they take the new puppies home. Do that on an opening night, on a puppy class opening night.
Yeah, the first night they get that. A bit
But
of
maybe
that.
get Eric in.
Yeah.
Eric, are you ready for a quick fire round?
Go on. Yeah.
Right.
Let's-
Okay, best protein for most dogs.
Well, chicken really. That's the biggest seller of raw.
Biggest feeding mistake owners make.
Not knowing the weight of their dog and overfeeding or underfeeding, as Helen has said.
One thing every dog owner should know about nutrition.
They should know about the protein really, because that's what a dog needs for their growth. They should know about the additives, what's in the food they're buying.
Just going on protein there, Eric. How I explain it to my clients, because there's good protein and there's bad protein. So I always say to my clients, I could feed some of these complete foods and these kibbles can be up there at 26-28%, right? And you can see the dog is off its face.
Yeah.
Not just sometimes hyperactive, but it can exacerbate their anxiety, it can make their aggression worse, all sorts of things. So I said I could feed my dog 28% raw meat, it's digested in 4 hours, and there's no after effects, whereas it takes 8 hours for your kibble to break down, and all those that protein, it's not natural protein, it's processed, it's man-made.
Yeah.
So there's good protein and there's bad
Yeah, there
protein,
is.
isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if a listener takes away just one message from today, what should it be?
That raw feeding is natural. It's going back to nature. That's what I would say. That's what really hit me when with Holly and buying the raw initially. I thought, wow, it's total common sense. It's going back to what they were fed 100 years
What
ago.
they're derived from wolves.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to buy their raw from Eric. Just saying that.
But we've been brainwashed over the years with big industry, and you're buying what's on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
I had a German Shepherd, Jenna. She was a fabulous dog as well. When I bought my house, we bought her. And I can't tell you what I fed her, because we never had a problem with her. And it was whatever was on the TV.
But back in the 70s, it's like, well, people say, oh, you don't see white dog poo anymore. Come round my gaff.
Yeah.
Go, my God.
So
Yeah.
look in mine.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be pure white because that's too much bone. But,
Yeah.
It's white when the sun gets on it.
you know, don't start again.
I'm not listening.
But it's, back in the day, they always used to feed the dogs the leftovers
Yeah.
and the scraps and everything off the table, didn't they?
All the meat, yeah.
Yeah.
And you never heard of all these big commercial pet
You
foods
never.
and nothing.
No.
But interestingly, at Crufts in the last 2 years, I have to say that raw has been so much more prominent. Whereas all you'd get would be science plan, Royal Canin,
Right.
you can Uber and everything pushed in your face. And now you're seeing all the raw out
Oh,
there
that's
and
good.
the raw stands and
Yeah.
everything else. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a lot more in your face than it's ever been in the last 2 years, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's not going away. It'll never be the size of these other products, but it's still growing. It's still growing because it's natural.
It is, definitely. And it actually cures ailment. Going back to my old Mastiff, my very first one, he got to an age where he got a virus and he got all sorts of things. He got pneumonia, streptococcus, and something else he had. And he went into starting kidney failure. So my vet was like, okay, we've got to go on ipacatine and we've got to get his protein lower and you should feed him. She said, like, the Royal Canin Renal. I'm like, you won't touch it. I said, no, I'm putting it in him. How can I do his diet to suit? So then I had to go 75% carb, sweet potato and veg, and 25% protein with it. So I'd use fish as well and other stuff. And in the end, when we tested him again, when he got over all the other stuff, his kidneys were back functioning normally.
Wow. I mean, we have so many letters and emails from customers. It is very touching on their dogs. They've been recommended to us. Try it. And I've always said to them, look, it worked for my dog, but it may not work for yours. But here's free samples. Try it and see how you get on. We had a lady come in tears. She'd spent thousands at the vets. Her dog was bald with all
Skin.
all scabs and everything. It was shocking. And I said, I gave her a good amount, about 10 days worth. She came back literally crying and hair coming out of her dog's head already. And within 3 months, her dog was fully okay. It was all her hair back and everything. It was
I don't have skin issues.
it was amazing.
Yeah, don't have skin issues with mine. Ears.
But
Don't have
that's
ears.
not saying that happens to every dog, but it does happen a lot. We get a lot of lovely letters thanking us.
I don't have anal gland issues with them either.
Yeah.
So no ear infections, no yeasty paws, no skin, and their joints, especially for me having giant breeds.
Yeah.
Absolutely unreal. I don't think mine would. I know they do a lot of exercise and they're different to most English Mastiffs, but what you put in again, and that's why they've been so strong and so healthy. I don't have cruciate ligament problems, nothing like that.
No, we've never had a problem, never been to the vets with any of our dogs. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen, but what you put in is what you get out. And
Same as people.
And exercise, again, like I say, is really important for your dog. You can put all the best food in the world in. Like with us, we can eat the best, but if you don't exercise, you've got to be mobile and exercise your dog. So important. Out the sun as well.
I'm just going to
Interestingly, I went to a seminar last Saturday, and there's a guy there called the Holistic Vet. Forgotten his actual full name, Nick something or other, and he's on about there's the thyroid epidemic in dogs that's nobody knows about. It's hypo, not hyper, and a lot of the issues and behavioural issues that are happening because of it are because of these processed foods,
right?
Because they're being neutered too early. And if you, as behaviourist, if you're seeing things that's just not right, it's worth having the thyroid check, but not just the normal T4 and the TSH. There's a special check that you can have. And it's interesting because, we'll go back to Pig, I mean, he's not fed a lot, is he?
No.
And he's lethargic, he needs to exercise more, but he is lethargic, lazy sod. Frenchies can be, and they can also be absolutely lunatics. But I'm convinced he's got hypothyroidism. But he was saying raw feeding all the way. All the way. It was really, really pro-raw, which was really good.
Yeah, well, like Pig, a lot of Frenchies have allergies, don't they? I remember when he first came to you, and Mark was like, oh no, I've been looking it up, and they have, itchy skin and manky ears and all that kind of stuff, and touch wood.
And they do have feeding problems.
He's had no allergies whatsoever. Yeah, they can't eat properly because they haven't got a mouth, and he has to lick it up.
Yeah, he especially him, because he looks like he's been whacked in the face with a frying pan. He's got no snout whatsoever. Poor sod.
I reckon you get that in on every single episode.
Because
My poor little dog, I tell you.
Yeah, but he was rescued. He could have been put to sleep. But we took him on.
And he's got the laugh of bloody Brian now.
Ugly like a frying pan.
But it's bad
He is
breeding.
ugly.
Some Frenchies should have a snout. Pig has got no snout whatsoever. Has he?
No.
That's how they breed them, isn't it?
Shocking.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm going to let you finish off this podcast. I want you to tell us all about your website, all about your products, that you're a local business, and how can us local dog owners support you with your wonderful raw food?
We have a website, rawpetfoods.co.uk, or www. Anyway, you can order online, it can be delivered. there is a delivery charge of $7.50, but that's for 1 box or 10 or whatever you want to buy. But you can actually collect at our farm as well. There's a button there that you can just tick and you can come and collect. You can turn up and just place an order on the day. You don't actually have to order online. We do a subscription service which is very rigid, and we're working on making that better because it's not very good at all. So we're going to spend quite a bit more money on having it done more flexible. I don't do loads and loads of recipes like a lot of the others do. I don't believe you have to do all this old age stuff and everything else. It's nonsense. So we do chicken and tripe, turkey, beef. We do beef and tripe. We do duck. We do lamb and tripe, and we do a meat feast, which is meat only. We do a chicken, just chicken only, and we do a sensitive product for dogs that have got different issues. And then we do a lot of treats. We don't do a mountain of them because I don't believe you need to. There's too much choice out there. We do the basic ones that are highly in protein, like rabbit ears, pig's ears and cow's ears. Rabbit ears are very good for all the ears, very good in protein. A dewormer doesn't completely deworm, because whoever says that does it, they're lying, because it doesn't, but it aids in it. And it's a good product for keeping your dog busy as well.
And your cold pressed.
Yes, the cold press. We do 3 flavours: turkey, chicken and beef. I don't believe we need to do any more than that. That's and a pork one actually we do. So that goes very well. But with the treats, we do a dried liver, which we make ourselves and dry it, which is a good thing. You shouldn't give them a lot, just as a treat. We do sprats, dried and frozen, which is, and marrow bones, duck necks, turkey necks and chicken necks, which is good for a dog for chewing and helps their teeth, cleaning their teeth. Chicken carcasses and all bits like that. So there's enough there on our website for most dog owners who want to feed raw. And there's 3 sizes. You've got a 450 gram pack, a 900 gram pack and a 1 kilo stick. The sticks are the most best value for money, and less waste on packaging if that's something that's an issue for you. But all our packaging is biodegradable, and
also you're doing it for the environment too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you have to at the end of the day. And you can collect with a bag or a thermal box, and we like to recycle the thermal boxes as well. So you can always bring them back, and we try to collect them as well. So it's look us up, and if you want to try and you haven't tried raw before, send us an email either to myself or Michelle at Raw Pet Foods, and we'll happily send you out free samples. Try it before you buy. We have a lot of faith in our product, and why wouldn't you give out a sample?
Yeah. And a lot of knowledge too, and not many people do.
But it's not for every dog. Some dogs just don't take to it. My daughter's got a dog and it just wolfs it down, but then it brings it straight back up.
Sometimes they don't. I found my Ridgeback would eat. Well, I'd eat anything, to be fair. I'd eat other dogs sick. But if it was like, if you give them liver or heart, even if you chop it, he couldn't do the texture. He couldn't stand the texture of it. But yet, chopped up into a raw and then frosted, he'd eat it. But if you gave him it out, so like you got a packet of kidneys from Tesco and you gave him the kidneys, the Mastiffs would just go, yeah. Whereas Reggie would be like, no, can't do it. Couldn't do it because of the texture. So there are some funny ones like that.
Yeah, there are. But you can always call us if you've got any questions. We're more than happy to talk you through anything. My team's got a lot of knowledge as well as I have, so we're all very passionate about dogs at the end of the day.
That's what I say to my clients. I say,
I never have believed it when I had Holly, and the passion you have for your dog, and when I got more involved in it, and you see everyone does. They are so important to your lives at the end of the day, and literally, my wife's dog is number one in our house. I'm number two, and that's how important
Is
they
that
are.
Lottie?
Lottie, yeah. Which is a Sprocker, which are normally mad dogs, but she's very tame because she's fed raw.
Exactly, and exercised.
Yeah, and exercise, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for the invite today. It's been really great.
And it's a pleasure to be your
Thank you.
ambassador
Thank
and
you.
send lots
And,
of people
well,
your
you
way
do
and
indeed.
educate them.
You do, Helen. Thank you so much
No
for all
worries.
the work you do for us. It's
No worries.
appreciated.